I want to talk today about ending the upgrade cycle. And this could go to anything. I'm going to talk primarily about technology, but this could go to anything in your life, whether it may be a pair of jeans, a shirt, pair of pants, pair of underwear. I'm just joking about underwear. But I want to talk about ending the upgrade cycle. So in America, in 2020, it's very common to upgrade your phone every 2 years. We were sort of trained to do this by Apple and AT&T back in the day. I believe they came out with a program where it was every 2 years, you would upgrade your phone, and it was like a very minimal cost, like maybe a couple $100. You'd give away your old phone, you'd pay for that like upgrade program, and you'd get like a new iPhone every 2 years. So we sort of became trained on every 2 years, we get a new phone. Every 2 years, we get a new phone. And that trend has continued to this day. But what people are starting to realize, I think, and I hope they begin to realize even more, is that in 2020, the smartphones last far more than 2 years. In fact, they last upwards of 3, 4, 5, 6 years even. I've been using a phone for 2.5, almost 3 years and a few months to the day, and it works perfectly fine for what I use. I'm a relatively heavy user. I don't use a ton of apps, but I do use my phone consistently every single day, watching YouTube, messaging, FaceTiming, sending text messages and stuff like that. So I use my phone a lot and it still works perfectly fine. The battery life is the only thing that's becoming questionable, but Apple has actually implemented a program where it's pretty cheap to replace your battery, much cheaper than it is to replace an entire new phone. And I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of things going around like this, whether it be with a car lease or whether it be with rent-to-own furniture and stuff like that. These payment programs are not a good thing to sign up for. Apple has a program where every single year you pay for a new phone. You consistently pay them $40, $50 a year every single month. And then at the time the new phone comes out, you trade in your old phone and you get the newest phone, and you continue to pay perpetually forever $40 or $50 a month, depending on which phone you get, 35, whatever phone you decide to go with, and how much storage and the price of it. This is a program that Apple has and that they probably love, because what they do is they get you to lease your phone. You're literally just renting a phone for a year, and then you trade it in and then you get a new one. It's the same thing with doing it every 2 years. Even if you pay for it at the end of the 2 year cycle, every time everybody has their phone paid off, they're always looking to upgrade to a new phone. So this cycle of upgrading every few years, every year, whatever it may be, is so detrimental to financial success and I think just overall general happiness, because when you're always looking for more and you get more, then you're always looking for more. So you'll never be happy, and it's tough to say, well, when I get to A, I'll be good. You never really know, but it's more of learning how to be content with certain things. Yeah, maybe the newer phone is better. I'm sure a newer phone is better than my phone. That's why it's new. They've had 3 years to upgrade them. It should be better. But what I find in most cases, people just upgrade to upgrade because it's sort of fun, but they don't really know the financial detriment of it, yada, yada, yada. When you look at the iPhone upgrade program or car lease program, all you do is rent items for a year and then you give them back. Rent an item for 3 years and then you give it back. People have become so accustomed to spending money, a little bit less money than they normally would to buy the item, but still money nonetheless. And they get to a point where they don't own anything. They have a mortgage on their home. They have not a mortgage on their car, but they have a lease on their car. They have a lease on their cell phone. Everything is leased. The way they buy their laptops is through Best Buy, and they open up a credit card and they have to pay. No, they don't owe anything. The banks own all of their stuff. They just get to use it, and they pay it back at about 20% interest in some cases on those credit cards. 3 to 4 to 5 if you're using a car, and on the cell phones it's normally 0%. But a lot of these loans, the phone loans, I really don't love. There's a video I made down below where I talk about this, and it's a pretty edited video. Actually, I'm really proud of it. Hopefully you may have seen that, or you should check it out. And it's about upgrading iPhones, and stop upgrading your iPhone every single year, or stop buying it on a payment plan, because it teaches you to use payment plans instead of actually saving money to purchase a phone, saving money to buy an item, whether it be a car, whether it be maybe not a home. That's a little unrealistic, but at least having a percentage down to put on your home instead of getting like an FHA loan where it's 3.5% down and then you owe the government, or you owe the bank forever on that home. Some home loans I think are even 0% down, which is nuts. It's I'm trying to explain to people why having payments every single month is a negative. Same with cars, same with homes, same with phones, whatever it may be. And I want people to end the upgrade cycle. End to the point where it's like, well, every 2 years I get a new phone because that's when I pay it off. My sister I'm trying to get her into this stuff a little bit more about our Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. The link is in the description. I get a little kickback, pretty much nothing, but I really think that you should buy that book. I don't care if you buy it through me or buy it through him, whatever, and read it. It's a really powerful and helpful book, at least to teach you about why debt is bad. And she just paid off her car 2 years early, and I got her the book in December of this past year, and she paid it off in the next 6 months, which was like 2 years early, which is really awesome. And she's like, it's weird because I already feel like I want to buy a new car. And I think that feeling, that's the feeling you need to get rid of somehow, however you can figure out how to do it. I'll tell you how I've done it, but that feeling right there of needing to upgrade, needing to get more, needing to get better, that is a very powerful feeling in a negative way. If you pay off your car, she just saved like $350 a month, I think was her car payment. $300 a month was her car payment. And she's looking at other cars and she's like, well, I don't think I'm going to buy one, but like I kind of want to upgrade. And I'm not trying to poke fun at her or anybody else, but it's interesting that is how she thinks and that's how she feels about paying off her car. If I paid off my car, I'd be doing backflips and jumping jacks. We're working on that. I have a video planned. But it's amazing how you can, even somebody who knows how bad it is to just keep having car payments and who has no car payment, her car's got like 60, 70, 80,000 miles on it. Good car, still has a long time left, probably another 4 or 5 years left on it, but she's looking to upgrade. It's a scary feeling, and it's something that I think people need to get under control. The way I've gotten under control is by setting goals for myself and taking pride in certain things. I am not an exceptionally wealthy person at the moment. I know I will be because I do things that wealthy people do, which is why I will be wealthy eventually. It's not going to be through inheritance. It's going to be through my own blood, sweat, and tears with my wife and then eventually our children. It's going to be through good decisions, time and time again, and thoughtful decisions. So how do I stop from thinking I can afford this, I can buy it, I should buy it? Well, I mentioned in my last video about a Tesla how I could afford it, $820 a month. I could afford the payments, but I couldn't buy the car, obviously. It's a $57,000 car, and we still have student loans of my wife that we're paying off, so we're trying to get rid of those and a little bit of my car. So how can I stop from thinking I should get that? Well, because I have goals and I have plans, and I know what I'm going to be doing with this money the second I stop having to give it to whether it be Toyota Financial or whether it be Sally Mae or Sally Mae and then the other one, I can't remember. But the money that we send to the student loans every single month or to the car loan every single month, these dollars have a place in my budget the second I stop having those payments. And it's not to get another car. It's to pay off my house a lot quicker. It's these things where I'm not thinking about, oh, once I don't have a car payment, I'm going to have $350 extra every month. No, that once I get rid of my car payment and my wife's student loans, we are literally going to be we're going to pay off our house in probably 2 years. That's our plan. And that is a very powerful way of thinking about it, I think, is having a plan for after you pay it off. Not just paying it off and knowing that it's good, because I think that's all my sister thinks about is, well, now it's paid off, it's good. But it's having a plan for the money after that. What are you going to do with that? If you invested $350 every month for the next like 40 years at a 10% growth, it'd probably be like $2-3 million. It's insane. And I think that I've talked to my sister about this a little bit, but it's her life. She's going to make her own decisions. But for the people watching this video, you're probably a little bit interested. So what I would say is when you get to a point where you're paying off debt and you're making a lot of money and you have some cash flow coming in, live beneath your means. My wife and I live well beneath our means. Our home payment is 16% of our take-home pay. It's actually a little bit less. It's like 15% of our take-home pay every single month. We live far beneath our means, exceptionally low beneath our means, very, very minimally. But it's because we have a plan. This house that we're living in is going to be a rental. The cars we're buying and driving right now, we're not going to keep forever, but we're going to keep for the short term. That way we can get our house paid off. That way we can buy the next house. And that way in the future, we can buy a Tesla with cash and be able to enjoy the car because it's not a burden. It's actually something we've planned for and had a goal for. I probably won't ever buy myself one, but I know I want one, and I'll buy my wife one first, and then she'll probably have to buy me one because I know that I probably wouldn't buy one for myself. But it's those goals, I think, that are really important, and so that way you have a plan with money. I think that having a plan with money is good, but if you have a plan with no end goal in mind and nothing you're really pushing towards, that's a negative. So I think what you should take away from this in the upgrade cycle, the phone plan, the car plan, the home plan, is you don't have to constantly be upgrading. Be patient. Nobody has ever been patient and it didn't work out. Maybe you missed out on the perfect deal, but if you're patient and you have a plan in place, it normally always works out because that's what the plan is there for. And if things change, you can alter your plan a little bit because you were patient. You didn't jump on the expensive home. You saved up money. You did the right things. You didn't jump on the new phone because your phone still works. And turns out you needed the extra $1,000 anyway because your air conditioner went out. So these are things I think are very powerful and very crucial for you living not necessarily a good life, but a financially well life. And I think finances are the most important thing in life until they're not important anymore. And that's the moment when finances don't matter. But before that, that's a 20, 30-year process typically, 10, 20-year process, depending on how much you make now and how good you are at it. And that moment when you hit the point where you don't need money is when you'll be like, okay, now I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. But you have to be really adamant about saving money and being good with money because you'll never get to that point of being able to enjoy your money if you never had money, be able to donate however much you want. I would love to set up certain foundations in my parents' names and in my wife's dad's name, and we will one day be able to support these and give certain charities a ton of money or certain people like kids scholarships for certain things. But I have to get from where I am now and suffer a little bit now. That way I can help out my fellow man down the road. It's not just selfish. Yeah, I want a Tesla. Of course, that'd be awesome. It's a sweet car. But I know that I would spend the money on 100 things before I bought a Tesla. That's why I told my wife, you'll probably have to buy one for me because I'll never do it myself. So thank you for watching the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the upgrade cycle. What have you struggled with? I know I personally struggle with phones, cars, the home, never. But clothing as well has been a little bit of a struggle for me where I always want to like upgrade my clothing and my phones and my tech, my laptops, my computers, all that stuff. So let me know your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. See you in the next one. Peace out.